Okay, let's get chopping. I'm not going to show you the entire chopping process, but I just do want to point out a couple of things. First of all, we want to chop everything in about the same sizes. We like to do that just so that everything is similar sizes for eating. That's just our picky thing. Some people slice things, some people, you know, you can do this as your thing. Do whatever you want to with it, but I'll show you how we do it. First of all, for the cauliflower, we kind of cut it off all the way around the main stem here. Okay, you don't need the core. That you can chunk. Okay, I'm not throwing that on the floor. I have a garbage can right down here next to me, which I suggest because it's very handy for just chunking everything in. So you don't need the leaves. You don't need these little things. Now, I really hate to waste anything. You really could keep all of this and juice it. You could put that through your juicer and get the nutrients out of those good raw vegetables. Today, we're just gonna scoot them out of our way. And what I wanna show you is, although I get rid of the little leaves, only because, not because they're not nutrient dense, only because they would kind of turn a little mushy in the culturing process. The cultured vegetables themselves still have a good firm crunch to them. They're not like if you cooked a cauliflower. They're not going to turn to mush. They're going to have a nice firm texture, but they're going to be a little bit firmer than totally raw. It's such a good thing for your digestive health because they are raw, live vegetables, but they have been, through the fermentation process, kind of halfway digested. So they're pre-digested, getting ready to go in your system, and they're so easy on your digestive tract. What I want to show you is, don't waste any of this. Even this little part. I cut it off, I cut these little pieces off and cut them into, halves or quarters. Then the little heads, whatever you call, little treetops here, you don't have to cut them, you can break them. Ideally, they're good in little bite-sized pieces. Just little bite-sized pieces, that's all you want. So cut up your whole head of cauliflower, and we'll take a break while I'm doing the cutting, and then we'll pick back up with the kohlrabi and I'll show you how to cut that. Alrighty, we're back. We've cut up the whole cauliflower. If you can see in there, we just got bite-sized pieces. We've put it in our stainless steel bowl and we're going to move it out of the way. Okay, now we're ready for our kohlrabi. We got all of our vegetables from our local CSA. So things like this kohlrabi, oh my goodness, they're huge. They are gorgeous. So you've got little leaf tops. I think these are just, is this not like Dr. Seuss looking? I love it. We don't need the top to culture, but again, no need to waste it. You can cut that off and you can juice it. You could have potent V8 drink that you could juice just by juicing your little drags that you don't want to use in the vegetables. I'll lay that there. So I'm not gonna make you watch me cut up this whole kohlrabi, but I'll show you. First of all, cut off the top. That's what the inside looks like. Kind of a turnip type thing. I usually cut off the little end there. And then I take a little paring knife and I just cut off the outside of it. What's easier, I think, is to cut it into a smaller working thing. And you chefs out there that are really good at knives, just ignore me. I'm not that good at cutting. I'm just scared of cutting myself. Just take the knife, and it's really easy. It's kind of like peeling an apple or something. It's not very hard at all. And I just peel the outside off. And then once I've got the outside peeled off, I'll just chop it into cubes. Cubes about the same size as our cauliflower. So I'll get to work on this and we'll get back with you when I get it done. All right, we've cut up the kohlrabi. We've got it in the bowl here. Got it in just Nice cube sizes. Now, this is a humongous kohlrabi and a big head of cauliflower, so this is going to take more than 1/2 gallon mason jar. Usually it does, but depending on how much you have, it's going to be different every time. So, we've got that done. Now we're going to cut up our celery. The idea with the celery is that we want it to be pretty much consistent sizes. So we're going to just have it about the sizes of everything else, about like that. I'll take my time, get this all cut up, throw it in the bowl, and then I'm going to cut up our puny little amount of carrots here. Likewise, just about the same sizes as everything else. Then we'll get back to you in a minute. Voila, we have our carrots and celeries chopped up. Now I'm going to show you how we chop the onion. I assume most everybody out there in the world probably knows way more than I do about this kind of thing, and I am not a culinary queen, but I'll show you how I do it, and I think it's pretty handy, so I'll show you. Cut the ends off. I kind of just try to hang on to the peel and get off as much of it as I can. Then I've got a flat base to put it on. Cut it in half. Then I've got this little, I got this like runaway onion. Okay, I just like did that to make you laugh. That was staged, really. Okay, take the little peel of the onion and just peel it off. Chunk in the garbage. If I do this long enough, I'll figure out how they do that in those cooking shows and make it all look easy and effortless. So get all this off, throw it away. Remember that I have a garbage can down here and I'm not throwing it on my floor. Okay, so I take the onion, and because, you know, God already gave it little lines already pre-cut, packaged in there, all I do is hold it and hold it together, and I make little chops about the sizes of everything else in my cultures. So I've got these lines going this way, turn it sideways, and then kind of just give a little rainbow chop there. And now it's all chopped up into perfect little individual pieces, and when I put them in there, they'll just fall apart. So I'll finish chopping the onion, and then we'll show you how we put it all together. Okie dokie, now we're down to the garlic. I usually per jar put in about 2 cloves per jar. This is gonna make more, definitely more than a jar. So I'll put several of these cloves in there, break them off, get their little peels off. I usually chop off the little end there and try to get as much of the peel off as I can when I do that. Like that. And then if you have a garlic press, you can squeeze it through there like I'm going to do. If you don't have a garlic press, you can just chop this up really finely. So put it inside there, squeeze it into there, and scrape it off. I'll do that with the rest of the garlic, and then we'll mix it all up. Alrighty then, we've got cauliflower, kohlrabi, celery, carrot, onions, and garlic all chopped up in here. So now we're just going to mix it up, get it all mixed together really good. I don't have a fancy above the head camera to show you what this looks like, but I'm pretty sure you can imagine what mixing something up looks like. Okay. Now, we're going to scoop it into the jar. Remember, you can use whatever solid, hard, crunchy vegetables you like. It doesn't have to be this particular batch. And, you know, chances are at a regular grocery store, you're not even going to find kohlrabi. So don't sweat it. Don't try to make it exactly like this. Use what you got and what you like. Okay, so we got that one full. Fill it up to the shoulder of the mason jar here, and then fill up your water to, okay, this is what I do. It usually takes about 4 cups. I fill it up to 3 cups, and I'll show you why. I'm using reverse osmosis water. If you don't have RO water, then I would suggest using a good quality, pure spring water. You can't, choking on it, you can't use tap water. Regular tap water usually has things like chlorine bleach in it from your water system. If you do that, it'll kill the bacteria, and you need the good bacteria to grow to culture and ferment your vegetables. So I fill this up to 3 cups of water, and I'm going to add, this is a 2 tablespoon measure, so I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of my sea salt, and I'm going to stir it up. I like stirring it up before I pour it to cause the salt to dissolve as much as possible. But with natural sea salt, you're going to see minerals still floating down there at the bottom that don't dissolve. They're usually kind of pinkish red color. So, pour it over the vegetables. It's going to take a little bit more. So, now all that goodie that's still left in the measuring thing here, I'll put my extra 1 cup of water in there, mix it up, and that way I don't miss any of my salt. Okay, pour that in there, just about up to the bottom of the lines there. That's plenty. Now, this little cup, I don't think I mentioned this a while ago. The reason for the stainless steel cup, we fill it about half full of water and sit it on top of the vegetables. It's just going to kind of sit there on top. The water is going to keep the cup weighted down. The cup is going to keep the vegetables from coming up. As it bubbles, it could cause the vegetables to come up. We don't want any to come up and get clogged in our airlock. We want it to be able to flow freely. So that's what the cup's for. So now, in the airlock, I'm going to fill it up with water up to the maximum mark. Again, using RO water. There we go. Put the little cap on top, and we're going to screw it on. Okay, that's it. We're going to take this, I'm going to put it in our cooler, and we'll put our ice packs in there, and we'll let it sit for 4 days. I'll jar up the rest of these and get them in the cooler, and in 4 days we're going to have yummy, healthy, delicious cultured vegetables. Thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll see you next time on reallifenaturalhealth.com.